Really? Good morning, beloveds. As you see, I have sugar here, and what you can't see is Foster down here. I woke up at 5:24 this morning. I know, because I can see the clock. To thunder and lightning. And of course, because it was thundering and lightning so much, I couldn't go back to sleep. So when my alarm went off at 6:15, I asked Tom, I said, "Is it raining?" And he said, "Yes." And he turned the alarm off, and we both went back to bed. So I didn't go to the park this morning. And it looks like now it's going to be a beautiful day. So by the time at, 7:40 when we woke up the second time, which it's too late to, get ready and go to the park, it's going to be a beautiful day. And then apparently we're going to have another thunderstorm move in with a cold front. So, you never know what you're going to get. I think Mother Nature decided I needed a bit more rest. So, all right. Yes. It is April 15th. Our title is The Drama of Life. Our author is Nona L. Brooks, who was one of the founders of Divine Science. And this was published in Divine Science Monthly in October of 1932. So, yeah, Nona L. Brooks, one of the founders of Divine Science. Okay, so the drama of life. As I say that with a cat strung over my shoulder. There was a time in my development when I thought that truth was to be applied to health alone. The light increased, and I came to see that principle, it was all-inclusive and was to be demonstrated in every phase of my existence, in my environment, and my relationships, as well as my body. The light continued to expand, and I now realized that nothing was to be excluded from my consciousness. I had been denying certain external processes. They did not seem good to me, or they seemed not to be consistent with the fundamental principles I had learned. So I said, this is delusion. It does not exist in reality. Often, when we form our decisions, even after the very thorough study of advanced thought from personal prejudices. All right, hang on. Let's see. Often we form our decisions even after a very thorough study of advanced thought from personal prejudices. In my childhood, I had been taught to reject evolution as a device of the devil's, a clever scheme to divert us from the true concept of the creative, I think that says fiat, of an all-powerful God. It took me some years to get over this view of this great life process, when it began to dawn on me that evolution, with its evidence of law, order, and power, was God's method of creating a marvelous life process, not to be eliminated from our thought world, but to be understood and interpreted aright. By such graduated unfoldment, my individual consciousness has been greatly enriched. The universe in which I live is larger, more wonderful than I had conceived possible. The experiences of the day are much more significant and vital. My realization of companionship has extended far, far out beyond the confines of those earliest days. I live in a universe that is alive, conscious at every point, a universe that responds to my every call and that fulfills my every need. I don't know what I've done with my bookmark. Oh yes, there it is. Okay. I'm being slightly distracted by what I was reading and by the lawn people, which I was hoping that I was trying to give them a little extra time. Okay. So, okay, let's start with the fact that Nona Brooks was writing in 1932. She was a founder of Divine Science. So, and I would say that her experience is very similar to anybody coming into new thought, any kind of new thought. We start with where we are. In Science of Mind, one of the things that it's kind of a silly exercise, but one of the first exercises we teach is manifesting parking spaces, and manifesting green lights when you're on the road. And because you got to start with what you got to start somewhere. And so, and honestly, early new thought, that's exactly what they came in for. They came in for health of the body. They came in going, you know what, this world isn't working and I don't feel good. And what can I do about that? Phineas Parker Quimby had tuberculosis. And when he was, running around in the 1800s, tuberculosis was a death sentence. And not only did he deny that, he got better. And he went, well, okay, well, what did I do? So, and Mary Baker Eddy, same thing. She came because she didn't feel good. She had some kind of, I don't know if it was bronchitis or pneumonia or something, but she came to Phineas Parker Quimby because she didn't feel good. So a new thought kind of started really gaining steam when they realized that they could consciously change their health. And that's, everybody comes to it from, it's like, something in our life isn't working. And so that's where we focus. And then the goal is once you've mastered that, then to expand out and go, well, wait a minute. Can I apply this principle to this? And can I apply this principle to that? And when you kind of realize it, it's like Jesse was talking, it was several months ago. He was talking about, how we have all these laws. And he said, really, honestly, it comes down to one law. So we can have all of these laws, but they're just aspects of the same thing. It all comes down to the principle. It's like, it's all one, it's all good, and it's all so, and the good comes from the use we make of it. There is no such thing as evil, because what evil is a misuse of the power. So it's all one. And so that's what Nona, she says, look, we come at it from this particular aspect and we think that's all it is. And we make these decisions early in our life, and then we never look at them again. And that is, you can go and look at childhood psychology, and they talk about our formative years and how by the age of 8, we've made a whole lot of decisions about the world based on potentially faulty information given to us by people who really don't know better. We have a whole lot of adults in our lives, and there was a meme that kept coming up for a while, and we've got to do our own work. We need to go back and look at those, and she used it right, childhood prejudices that we were taught. One of the reasons why I'm kind of adamant about women, some of the things that we're taught is, because early in our childhood, we are taught that pretty is the rent we pay to exist in this world. So if we're not pretty, then, we're not worth our space in this world. And we're also taught that we're supposed to be the nurturers and the caretakers of everybody except ourselves. And those are early lessons that we are taught by well-meaning people that love us, but it's faulty information. So we need to go back and look at those things that we have been taught early in our childhood and go, you know what? That doesn't align with the principle of life, and what is it that I need to know so that I can operate more fully in alignment with the principle of life, and then my life will work better. So she talks about, at first, I thought it just was about the health of my body. And then I realized I could use it for business, and I could use it for relationships, and I could use it for just living life in general. That's why she called it expanding the consciousness. when you come into this kind of teaching, generally, and it's the same reason somebody walks into what I do Monday through Friday is I work in a health food store. Well, people come in because they have a problem. And then once they get in there, they realize, okay, yeah, we can get this and work on that problem, but we can also work on the whole body. And when you come into our store, we don't just sell you a bottle of pills. What we do is we talk to you about your diet and your lifestyle. And do you exercise? And do you sleep? And, what do you eat? We talk about all that. So that's what Nona is talking about. It's like, this isn't just one thing. It's a whole lifestyle. You can apply this principle, this creative principle, to absolutely everything in your life. And imagine what you could do if you applied this principle, this creative principle, to everything in your life. To understand that you have a silent partner, a co-creator, with an infinite source of power that will absolutely work with you on absolutely anything in your life. There, as I have told students before, there is no problem too small to bring to treatment. That's why we start with parking spaces, because it's a silly little thing. And once you realize that you can use it for that, then why can't you use it for big stuff too? That's one of the reasons why I talk about looking for the little good, because it adds up to the big good. So the drama of life. I'm not sure about the title, but the concept that Nona brought to us today is absolutely, like, I am on board with the idea of this. So, by the gradual unenfoldment, my individual consciousness has been greatly enriched. The universe in which I live is larger, more wonderful than I had conceived possible. The experiences of the day are much more significant and vital. My realization of companionship has extended far, far out beyond the confines of those earliest days. I live in a universe that is alive and conscious at every point, a universe that responds to my every call and fulfills my every need. I mean, starting from thinking that truth was only to be was to be applied to health alone, to recognizing that the universe can respond to every call. That's the mission. The gentle unenfoldment. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to recognize to recognize and be willing to unenfold into that companionship with the universe, gently unenfold, and recognize that it can answer every call and meet every need, whatever that is. So, and it is a task. It is about being willing to stretch forth beyond what you thought you were capable of. So, I commend to you Nona Brooks, one of the founders of Divine Science. Mission of the day. All right. And then I'm going to recommend, as I always do, the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. I give you suggestions like taking a deep breath before you speak, which is an obvious one. Then you choose your words more carefully. And then you respond instead of reacting. That's another one. And I talk about taking a walk and taking a nap. And, sometimes what it looks like is when you wake up during the thunderstorm to turn your alarm off and go back to sleep. But sometimes it also looks like, even if you don't want to, it means getting up and going for that exercise. It is about self-care. I'm not hiding it. I'm not hiding it. Self-care is absolutely very important, and it is something necessary, especially if you choose a life of service. So I want to remind you of that, but I also want to remind you that it is also about making room for joy. As Nona was talking about in the reading, we can expand this into our whole lives. And so one of the qualities of God is joy. So make room for it. Your life is a special occasion. Please feel free to treat it as such. The cat moved. He decided to stop warming my leg, which was, I was enjoying, but now that's where we are. So, make room for joy. And obviously you watch the smile, so he does bring me joy. And I just completely lost track of what I was saying. So, spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, something kind for yourself, something compassionate for yourself. I recommend it every day. It is a spiritual practice. It is about creating that well-worn path to the source of your own being, to the source of infinite love, infinite kindness, infinite compassion. And I recommend it every day for a couple of reasons. One, I am encouraging you to create a habit, a first response, a default setting. I'm encouraging you because you are your own best test subject. You get immediate response when you practice on yourself, but you also deserve your own love, you deserve your own kindness, you deserve your own compassion. So I encourage you to take care of yourself every day. It is a spiritual practice, okay? I learned it in ministerial school. So I will also encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body, unless the weather, as it did to me, says no. So I'll figure that out and do something else later today. I encourage you to drink plenty of water. You saw me do that. Hydration is super important. I've been really dry for the last couple of days, and so hydration is extra important while I'm very dry. So please drink plenty of water. Your brain works better when it's well hydrated. I do encourage you to get early in your day bright light. So when I did get up, I did go outside and go, all right, are we going to see the sun? Yes, you can see the sun has come out. The clouds have moved off until they come back. So get early in your day bright light. It's called a circadian rhythm. It is a hormone. It's a natural hormone cycle. And if you get that early in your day, especially on your face and your forearms, bright light, and I'm talking 10 or 15 minutes. Not a lot. It helps to reset those hormones. You will sleep better at night. You will have more energy during the day. So I do encourage you to do that. All right. I'm going to push forward here now into the, my quote from Ernest Holmes that I love. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. That's part of what Nona Brooks was talking about. When we come into this teaching, one of the things that we are learning is that heaven is a state of consciousness. It's a state of mind. Once we learn to create it for ourselves, which is what she learned, she's like, oh no, I can apply this principle of life to absolutely everything in my life. The universe will respond to my call, respond to my needs. Once we learn to do that, once we learn to work within the alignment, work in alignment with our companion, our co-creator, once we learn to allow that power to flow through us, then heaven can become any place. Not a place, but any place. Because it's about your state of mind. And, we're all walking each other home. So once we learn to do it for ourselves, we want to hold that lamp up so that other people can learn to do it for themselves. All right. And as always, I'm always going to remind you what Emma says. Look for the good, praise it. When we start looking for the good, we find it. And we find it in places that we hadn't expected to. And so that's when amazing things start to happen. If you are in a situation, one of the best things you can do is keep a gratitude journal. Once you start looking at all of the little things that you have to be grateful for, life kind of changes tenor. It's an amazing practice. And if you haven't tried it, I do encourage you to try it. All right. Yep. So I'm going to jump into the social media where I remind you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So I encourage you to go and take a look for that. And I don't know what I was about to say there. It is what it is. You want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. And the hot links are hot. If it says click here now in that email, it'll take you right to the information you want or the person that can help you get it. So avail yourself of that stuff. I try and make sure that on the Creative Life Spiritual Center page, we follow really inspiring content so that you can, when you go to the page, you see interesting stuff, uplifting stuff, lighthearted stuff, loving stuff, compassionate stuff, funny stuff. You know, I got a sense of humor and it makes the world better for me. So I'm going to share it with you. All right. I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a get stuff done day, a take a rest day, a enjoy the weather day, a plant something day, I've just glanced over the cat and she's curled up in a sleep day, you know, that kind of day. A do what you need to do day, a take care of yourself day, push your boundaries a little bit day, a gentle unenfoldment day. I love the words that they make up. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. As I have said before and will continue to say, because it is the truth, you are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are a godling. Get to know the truth of your own being and expand out because you are so much more than you think you are. All right, beloveds, take care of yourself. Always know who you are. All right. I'm going to take a deep breath. Are you all right, Foster? Oof. Remind you that Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. And since today is Saturday, we'll have an amazing 11 a.m. service for you. So take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.